Hello everyone, Archangel Wedgio here, and today I have a Labrynth deck profile for you guys. Shoutouts to Rob, the owner of White Dragon Games in Wilson, for letting me borrow the deck. I made some changes, obviously, so it's not the same list he gave me. It's a little different. Shoutouts to Big Bow Gaming in Smithfield for hosting tournaments, the one that I won. And then shout out to my new team, Spank. Big things to come. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. I'll go over matchups in the end for anyone interested. So starting off with monsters, you play 3. Arian the Labyrinth Servant, the green one. This one on summon searches a Labyrinth card. It's the best thing. And on your opponent's, or anytime a monster loses a field by a normal trap effect, you can draw a card and then summon a fiend from your hand or set a spell trap from your hand. And there's only one effect per turn, so you have to keep that in mind. But definitely just the best monster. I'm not playing the pink one. I think the pink one loses way too hard to Disruption. Yeah, so I'm just not playing it. 2 of the new Silver Castle. Sometimes I think about running this card at 3, but it's just, you don't want to, it's one of those, you want to see it sometimes, not all the time. It's really nice to draw. If you don't draw it, this gets you to it. This gets you to Welcome Labyrinth, which gets you to it. It's just, the deck is, you never really brick unless you don't draw any engine, but there's quite a few pieces of engine, so you're not too likely to do that. Then for like the real brick of the deck is the Silver Castle, or I guess the Lovely Labyrinth versus Lady Labyrinth. That's Lady Labyrinth. This is Lovely. Yeah, rambling again. Yeah, this is Lovely Labyrinth is Silver Castle. This is kind of the boss monster from Tactical Masters. I still think this one is insane. You still need to play this one. It makes your trap card spell speed 4, in quotations. And like if it has the same trigger like with this one, except when a monster loses a field by a normal trap, you get to rip a card from your hand or your opponent's field. It does destroy, so I guess don't hit Baby Ceratosaurus or something. And it also, once per turn, you can just target a normal trap and grave set it to your field, but you can't activate it unless there's a fiend, but there's always going to be a fiend. Next on to the furnitures, we play 2 Stovey and 2 Chand. Not much to say, these both pitch themselves another card to set a Labyrinth spell trap from the deck. And then they both kind of recur themselves when a monster leaves the field by a normal trap. Stovey summons itself, Chand adds itself back to hand, so I think Stovey is a little better, just because it puts a body on the board. But Chand is just as good, and they're both once per turn, so you don't really want to max out on one and play one or the other. And then for, like, I guess a Garnet-ish is Ku-Klok. I did decide to play the Ku-Klok because there's some cute things you can do with it. I don't think I'm going to play it much in the future. It's a level 1, which can come up for some things that I'm doing, but it's like, you discard another card and you can activate a normal trap the turn it was set. It comes up a little bit, but I don't think I'd miss it cutting it. I think I set it out most times going second anyway, which is technically when it's supposed to be the most useful, but you have to have like 5 specific cards for that to be good. So instead we're going to play Ku-Klok at home and backcheck. This card is really nice. It gives us a lot of value on maxing out on a certain trap card we'll get to. This card is just so good. It's an understatement, honestly. And then, of course, we're playing Bestials through Magnamut. The trap card, Labyrinth Trap, Welcome Labyrinth. So it says you can't special summon from the deck or extra deck except for fiends. Fun fact, these guys summon from the hand, so they get around that. And then the payoff is the 2 Druid Swarm. It's just Bestial package, not much to say about that. It's a tier format, and also their bodies. Onto the spells, we played 2 Labyrinth. I think that this card should be played at 2, just because a lot of people are still playing things like Cosmic Cyclone. If you wanted to cut it to 1, I feel like the replacement is like Labyrinth Setup, which it's not good. Labyrinth Setup is so garbage. It's the spell. I don't know if it's called Labyrinth Setup. It's like, it adds back a banished Labyrinth card and then sets one from deck, but it's so bad to draw. This is so much better to draw. Because like this turns the bricks into less bricks. Like if you draw the Lovely Labyrinth and this and like a normal trap, you're gaming. You're just gaming. If you draw this, it means basically, so the best setup is like Ariana plus any Labrynth card. Ideally, either this, Welcome, or a Furniture. But the others get you places too. Because this is just a piece of the puzzle, you no longer have to search if you draw it, and Labrynth setup is just garbage. Onto the pot. My pot of choice is Prosperity. This was originally Extrav until I got a probably set of Prosperity from Teammate, which was really nice of him. Extrav works just as fine. Prosperity is a little nicer. The X deck is an Extrav build, but I got Prosperities, so the X deck is gonna be whatever. I will go over that in a minute when we get there. Onto the traps, there's a lot of them. Triple Welcome Labrynth. It says summon a Labrynth from deck. It also says put itself back from the graveyard. It also says file your taxes, I think. And the reason we're playing Backjack, I know a lot of people cut it, but the reason we're playing it is because this card is insane. Just target a card on the field, destroy it, send Backjack, go plus even more. It's insane. 2 Compulse. I know a lot of people have been cutting Compulse because it's like so not impactful, but I still like running like the 2. I might even cut it to 1. Just because it's removal, it's non-destruction removal, as well as thing I did a lot is I would often have like 2 Arianas on board because I would always summon it off of Welcome to deck thin. I can Compulse 1 if my opponent's not really doing much, trigger the other because they trigger on any monster. So I draw, and then I have the Ariana in hand for next turn. It just gives you a lot of follow-up. So I really like Compulse. Yeah. I think it's really good. I think it's still worth playing, just because it's like the easiest way to, it's just the easiest form of interaction. And then we have a card that I was put on. I think this card is really nice. We're playing double Ichiroku's Ledger Book. This card says target up to 2 monsters your opponent controls, banish them until the end phase, and your opponent gains 1,000 life points for each monster banished by this effect. This card says remove 2 monsters from your opponent's board, and put them back. It's insane against tier in the right circumstances. It's FTK against Flu. It's really, really good against Sprite. It's good against a lot of Rogue. Yeah, it's just remove 2 monsters instead of 1, which is really nice. Because, fun fact, against Flu, the little birds aren't, if you target them with this, they get banished by their own effect, so they don't come back and they don't get any life points, which is really, really nice. 2 IDP, it's just good against tier, it's good removal. It's hard once, which is kind of awkward, but yeah, it's just one of the better forms of trap removal. And then we're playing 3 singleton traps for kind of situational, because like you're never like, every trap in your deck is searchable, at least the ones I've gone over so far and the ones I'm about to go over. And they're not hard to get to, so you don't really need to max out on these. These are the kind of flex spots that I think that you can mess around with the ratios of these depending on what kind of like format you think you're going to be playing into. I was playing at a locals. I only played 1 tier Shizu the whole night. It was the first round. So 1 Fiend Griefing, 1 D-Barrier, and 1 Karma Cannon. Fiend Griefing is really nice. It's another way to get back check and grave. It's another way to get mess of your opponent's graveyard. D-Barrier is D-Barrier. Everyone knows what it does. This is only in here to out-towers monsters, because otherwise, excuse me, this deck does not have enough to towers monsters. So you kind of need to play that. And then finally, 2 strike. I was at 38. I wanted to have some kind of counter trap. Yeah. On to the extra deck. The extra deck doesn't matter too much. 2 Muck. I summoned 1 monster from it the entire thing. Match 2 Muckraker. Ideally, this card would come up more if you're playing the pink one. A lot of this extra deck comes up a bit more if you're playing the pink one, but I don't like the pink. I just hate the pink one so much. Yeah, 2 Muckraker, Dark, a Bomb, Anima, because we're playing Backjack, and it's good going second. The only card I ever made all night was Linkuriboh. Yeah. Underworld Goddess, 2 Nightmares, Xyz, we play Bagutska, Wallow, Zeus, and then I'm setting 1 Waking, so we're playing 2 targets. Winda should be Last Warrior. I'm gonna try and play it off because I want to summon 2 and play the game, but nah, it should just be Last Warrior. But yeah, just play Max Deck around because it's so cool. Next we'll go on to the side deck, which is just 5 3-ofs, 3 imperm. Sorry, I gotta flip around for you guys. Yeah, 3 imperm. Just because I want a normal trap that can be activated from the hand going first as like a hand trap. 3 judgment, because it's a backrow deck. You lose to the side deck. The 3 singletons, Eradicator, Deck Dev, and Waking. This won me my match against Sky Striker. This didn't come in. Theoretically, like, you play one because, like, you can set it off the lady in response, like, because they go Lightning Storm, you, like, chain Compulse, bounce your Ariana, and then you chain it to set Waking, and then Waking gets blown up, but, like, it didn't come up. 3 Evenlies, and 3 Shifters. I wanted to see how few Floodgates I could get away with playing and still do well. Originally I was playing, like, Rivalry, ended up cutting them for the Bastiles. And then so Shifter and, like, I guess D-Bear are the only Floodgates I play, so that's 5 Floodgates throughout the entire deck. Yeah, that's about it. My matchups, I think round 1 I played against Tyr, Ishizu. I went first and I had a pretty decent hand. I was able to stop most of what he was doing. I had this and he went, like, he did a play, it was, I had this and Strike and, like, some other stuff. So he, like, normaled Rhino Heart, I striked the thing he sent, and then he got another one in Grave and made Kit Cliff that way. He went Kit Search Merly, so I banished this, I banished the Kit and the Rhino Heart and just couldn't play after that, so. And then game 2 I opened Shifter in response to the Yagito Mill 5, so yeah. Round 2 I played against Ishizu, Striker, Kashtira. That was a really good matchup, that guy's really good. Yeah, we ended up drawing that, just because it was like, we were fighting back and forth both game 1 and 2. But I ended up eradicating him game 2 for that, and then time got called. Round 3 I played against Hero. My teammates, it was an interesting list, but not much more to say. Rulings didn't go in his favor. I guess not in his favor, but he thought rulings worked differently, so I was able to out his board. And then round 4 I played against Shadol and Vogue Dogmatica. He was a good friend of mine, so that was fun. Yeah, not much more to say. Have a good night.